will be able will be able to look at the recordings at our platform. So welcome everyone at this moment in the Wize Move Society, and it's actually a very exciting time. Well, for me, and hopefully also for others. So far I had a great response to what we're doing, so that is good. Uh, and I am going to share a little bit of our plans, and I am going to share. Something is wrong with my dog. I hope you don't hear him too much. But something is probably a bird. But anyhow, so I am going to share a presentation, but not too much, not too long. And I really, really, really would love to hear your comments, your ideas, what you think. That for me is always important. So just jump in wherever you want to, and especially in a group like this, 7 people, that is absolutely possible. So I am going to share. Yes, the 2026 transformation. And for me, that is something that we already, for the last couple of years, were working at our roundtables. When you looked at our theme, it was "Let our collective wisdom contribute to global change." And the thing was, why does the Wise Move Society need that transformation right now? And that is very personal. What happened to me is that I got more and more the feeling of that I was working from something that was, to me at least, was negative. We were talking about ageism, we were talking about financial issues for the older generation, we were talking about they have to do this, they have to do that. And I felt like, we don't have to do anything. So, and what I started to do at the Wise Move Society was try to fix people. Yeah, people don't want to be fixed. And well, it's not my role to fix people. So it was also always about you need to do this, you need to do that. And I thought, this is not what I want. This is not about how I want to spend the next so many years within the group, within our film, the Wise Book Society. But what can we do? And it changed into I wanted to have something positive. And that already you saw that in the theme that we used. It is that collective wisdom. There is so much that we bring, there is so much that we carry, that this is what I want to be my starting point and our starting point at the Wise Move Society. We we want to contribute and in this to global change, and that some people say that's too big, and I feel like, yes, is it too big? But yeah, I really, really feel that if you make changes, smaller changes, it in the end, it affects more people, it affects more organizations, so there will be change in the end. And it was my question, so what can we offer instead of we need to be fixed? So, and this is really what I felt in the last couple of months working on this project. The world needs its elders now more than ever. And for me, this has the purpose, share the vision of the Wise Move Society with members and beyond, also not members, and to awaken those who have not yet seen themselves clearly as the irreplaceable force of change. They truly already are, and or those who do not know yet where to start. As already mentioned, it's not a presentation, it is a gathering around the wisdom well, because that is something that we have used more and more, that wisdom well, where we come together, share our wisdom, share our knowledge, share our experience, and create, learn, and create. Well, there is a kind of a question there. Why are you here? So, for some of you I haven't seen for a while, and then there is something in the message, something in the newsletter, something in what we post that you feel like, okay, now I need to go. Who?
I
Yeah.
am here.
Okay.
Do you hear me?
Yes, ham on, I hear you.
Um, I'm sitting here because I expect a platform, and a platform that is not a launching platform, and it is also not a landing platform, but
Hmm.
it is just a platform to share our ideas.
Hmm.
And because I have a lot of ideas, I thought I'm coming here.
Yes, good. Yes. Hannes always has a lot of ideas, so really, I love it that you're here. Clementine, maybe you want to share?
Yeah, what I miss a lot over the past couple of years is like-minded people.
Hmm.
We all have, especially if you're above 65, 70. I mean, I'm 77, and we are all full in spirit, but it's often very tough to do that on your own if you don't have counterparts where you can just unconditionally put ideas without being shot directly.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, she has something. Oh my God, that kind of thing. I mean, we have so much wisdom and so much life experiences in all the different levels, from deep grief to health issue, whatever. And but we're still alive, and
Hmm.
we can contribute to either each other or finding counterparts where you have in separate moments where you can discuss certain ideas and bring them to life. Uh, Especially, I just before now, I had a little conversation. There was a guy calling at the door for, internet thing.
Hmm.
Well, in the end, we had a 10-minute talk, and the guy said, "Oh, thank you so much. You brought me to certain ideas." He had been trained to do this, and it was such an old fashioned kind of training. It was the push thing. But you have to and make the counterparts negative. You
Hmm.
know, oh, they are all bad, and I said, mm-mm, don't do that anymore. So he said, okay, I will try this month, and then I will decide if this is something I like to do further. But I think already I need to go back to school.
Okay, so you did a good job.
Been just a little
Thank you.
conversation
Yeah.
at the door where someone is seen and heard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll learn more from you, Clementine, during this hour. So thank you so much. And I do agree, that's really fantastic. Pam, how about you?
Well, Ingan, I've always enjoyed the way you bring people together, like-minded people or people also with different ideas, and enable us to chat. And just building on what Han and Clementine have said, at this point in our lives, we have a lot of wisdom, and a lot of times there aren't many forums to share it in. You
Mhm.
know, people maybe don't want to hear you. You can do, I do, I'm doing more and more podcasts about leadership lessons and things like that. But I feel like there is so much need right now to share what we have to offer in positive ways because I truly believe that multiple heads and disciplines are better than one. And there's so many complex issues facing the world today, like climate change and systemic racism and war, that we really need to put our heads together and generate positive solutions. And like Margaret Mead said many years ago, a small group of people, I don't have the actual verbiage, but can change the world. And I
Yeah.
truly believe that. I believe, it's like throwing a stone into a pond, and we have the opportunity to influence people within our frame of reference. But who knows? Maybe that fellow that Clementine just talked to at the door, he goes on to do great things, right? You just don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank
So
you.
thank you for organizing us and giving us the opportunity to think about this
Yeah.
Thank
and
you,
share.
Pam. Yes, always a very wise woman in my perspective. So thank you, Pam, for joining. Anyone? Clara, Patty, Donna?
I will.
Yes.
Um, I have been really I've been really concerned about our society and everything. And I've been watching a lot of things on saying that we have lost critical thinking. And that's one thing that I love about this group is I really feel that we do critical thinking. We can come up with a topic, we can look at all different points of view. And it said, one of the things I got from one of the YouTubes that I've been watching, most people think critical thinking is about being smart. It's actually about being willing to be wrong. So we can get different perspectives. And I just thought that was so important in my life. And what's happening around the world is we're not thinking anymore. We're not really thinking about things and questioning things. And that's what I love about this group because we have people from all over the world with different perspectives, and we can listen and we can take a little bit from everybody.
Thank you, Patty.
Right.
Laura?
What can I say? I love the fact that Wize Move Society doesn't have what I call an agenda. There is no what's the word? No focus on this is what this is about, this is where we're going, this is where it's got to take us. So the openness, the ability to wait and see what happens is amazing about this group. The way that you are able, and Ingham, I'm very privileged and I love being here. The way that we can put in any agenda, and it doesn't matter what the agenda is, whatever the topic happens to be that is most important at that moment to us is what is discussed. And there are not a lot of free speaking groups out there. The possibilities that can occur because of the group being able to express their opinions, ideas, as Patty said, whatever comes to mind gets put into the honeypot. And what comes out quite often is something quite profound and quite different. And so I find, from my perspective, first of all, the multinational, multi-group of it, the fact that I can be in Australia and talk about what's happening here and someone else give their opinion over there, and we all discuss something that's really important, to me is different. So it's the point of difference about Wize Move that gives me the and I guess the excitement to be back every week. And I am, as
Thank
often
you.
as
Yes, yeah. Clara is absolutely someone who we meet weekly at the Wisdom Well, and for her it is in West Australia. It is in the middle of the night. No, it's not in the middle of the night. It's late in the evening.
It's late in the evening.
Yeah, well, for Pam, it's very early in the morning, being in the western part of Canada. Yes. Donna, do you want to add anything?
Um, no, well, part of it is I'm been working with you, Ingun, on this journey and looking at the transformation. So that's part of my being present here and hearing what others have to say about what your ideas are. But in terms of just the value that this group has given to me has just been fabulous. I am very active doing things with, to be honest, lots of groups, multinationals, multi generational, having to do with work, having to do with common interest, things. And I have friends from all around the world, and I travel. But this is the one group that I have to say, in terms of, and I think it's this particular age group that's multinational, that the point of it is sharing our wisdom, our learnings, how we are proceeding from this one, I want to say, from the working to the, just the phases of our lives. We're all kind of in the same area. So we're sharing what's going on with each other sort of similarly, but it's global. It's not like it's the health, it's the geopolitics of things. It's on a personal level. So I made new friends on this site and that's been just lovely. It's grown my world. So I want to thank you, Ingun, for that, and for bringing us all together, and for meeting all of you as well.
Thank you, Donna. And yes, Donna has been also been part of the conversations, as have others with you, and read the manifesto. And believe me, we have already done a lot of work. So yeah, you are sharing, yes. But where is now my presentation? Here. So the world we are living in. Does anyone, just one word, paint a picture of the current? Just open your mic, one word, if you talk about the current situation in the world.
Chaotic.
Chaotic.
Traumatic.
Traumatic.
Undisciplined.
Undisciplined.
Interesting.
Interesting. Interesting. Anyone? No? Okay, that's good. Okay. So, what does the world require at the moment? What do we need? And I think this is very important. We do not need answers, but we need wisdom. We do not need certainty because we cannot offer it. We need pattern recognition. We do not need power, but we need moral courage. So this is really the moment that I feel in history is the calling for our elders, and it is really calling us urgency, with a sense of urgency. So, who are the elders? And that is a question that we have been talking with several of you already also in the past. What is that word elders? What is it? Who do we picture when we see an elder? Who do we talk to? Do we talk about elders? Well, the thing that I wanted to start skipping, is because I always talked about the 50 plus generation. But then I was talking to someone of 47 and she said, yes, I cannot join because I'm not 50 plus. And then there was someone mid 70s and said, well, I do not have any connection with the 50 plus. They're still, in another phase. So, we wanted to get rid of that age and more into the calling. So it's not about demographics. It is about a role earned and not given. We're talking about the qualities of an elder. It's about knowledge, lived experience, wisdom, memory, serving the whole, holding perspective, speaking truth, focus on impact, purpose, values. There is a change. And can we generalize? No, we cannot. This is not something that is there for everyone. And And we can absolutely make that list a lot longer. And I hopefully we can do that now or in the future when we do talk about the elders. And who do you refer to as an elder? Who do you think about when we talk about the elders? Well, it can be Mandela. It can be Gandhi. It can be the indigenous people. Or it can be us. And Donna, I really looked for a picture where we also have some younger faces there. If you can find it, please do so. Send it to me. Because elders is not anymore connected with age. And that is something for us that's very important. It can be well, Patty, you talked about someone who's, I think, in the 40s. We are with Donna. We are the mentors of a little girl of 11 years old in Tanzania, and believe me, there is some wisdom there that is really fantastic. So, who do you refer to when you talk about the elders? You can just give one name. Doesn't have to be long. What is it? Or maybe you're very critical about the term, the word elders. That is good as well. I need to hear that as well.
To me, age is just a number. But it makes a difference if you are young or elderly. I find my experience is that my age is a unique selling point in the products that I made.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why?
Because people trust me, because I have experience in the things that I'm selling.
Mm-hmm. Experience, trust. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you see yourself as an elder?
Yes, because when I walk in the street here, then the first thing kids are asking me, how old are you?
Oh, it's fantastic.
So I like that very much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But still, elder and age can be separated.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like, how old are you, Han?
I'm starting my 90th year of living.
Okay. So yeah, wow, this is going to be
89. I'm
PIO.
89. But I'm very, very happy and very proud that I started my 90th year on this earth.
Yes, fantastic. Yeah. I really do believe what you're saying. There is quite some experience there, and you're still working, you're still inventing, there's still work to be done. And that is what I love. But you're 90 years old does not give you, in my perspective, does not give you the right to carry the how do you call it? The word, the role elder.
How
Mr.
do
Trump,
you
when
bed?
Mr. Trump is getting older, in my perspective, he's not an elder.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, elder is a badge of honor. I agree.
Badge of honor. Okay, yeah.
I have to say, Ingen, I brought this up before. I've given a poll of people around me, and when I say, "What do you think of when you think of an elder?" the first word they say is older, an older. So it's going to take a bit of like stretching people's thinking to not instantly think of an elder as an older person. I'm just
Yeah,
telling you.
yeah, I know, because we had a lot of conversations about it. Yes. How about you, Patty? Because you did have that perspective.
I look at right now when we're looking at the definition of elder, I would consider my son as an elder because he really studies, he's real high functioning autistic, and he's into the technical fields, and he studies politics. And when I have a question and something's going on in the world, I love getting his opinion because it's really thoughtful, and he looks at his news is all over the world, and he's talking to all different people. And I also, like you were talking earlier, I had a boss who was in her early 30s who she was so knowledgeable, and I really looked up to her, even though I had been in the workforce longer than her. But her knowledge, and our younger generation, I consider some of them so much as an elder because they have the wisdom, they have the curiosity, and they have the humanity. So I am really seeing, and like I said, when I have any questions, I usually go to my son and say, okay, well, what do you think? And I get a real in-depth answer.
Yes. Patty, do you consider yourself an elder?
Yes. But I think it is something that I have worked hard on becoming. And that is one of my goals. And that has been one of my goals since I retired is I want to be the wise woman. I want to be, and to me, that takes on a lot of responsibility. And that's why I'm like studying critical thinking right now. That's why I belong to these groups because I want to look at things, and I think we need the wise thinking. And that's not something you take for granted. And just because, like you said, just because you're an age does not make you an elder. It's something that you have to thrive for and want to become
Mm-hmm.
and take that responsibility. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
big responsibility.
Okay.
See, I don't think of an elder as being someone of intellect or knowledge. I believe that wisdom comes with the ability for compassion, discernment, and great perspective. Not necessarily a lot of knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we can become knowing and we can grow in knowing, but, the elder, an elder is also the embodiment of values, of everything that is worth living and how they live their life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's community mentorship. How do they share what they know? So I consider myself very knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
I consider myself a person of wisdom and ability. I consider myself someone who can mentor, but I would not actually put the label of an elder on that podium because from my perspective, an elder is someone who leads with compassion, with values, with the ability to show that this is the right path.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Interesting. Clara, when I hear you talking, to me, you are the example of an elder. Because your words contain so much wisdom in the way you put your words.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the words, it's the energy which comes through your words.
Wow, Clara. Wonderful. Clementine, do you consider yourself an
Thank
elder?
you.
Do you want to be called an elder?
Yeah, I'm in that point now.
Okay.
To me, a lot has changed lately again. And I think that's because I have made a decision with 77, my new life cycle has begun. So it's starting, this is the first year of the new 7 years. And that's why I decided that it's time to come and become more visible, etc. And yes, I only have one obstacle, and that's I'm not that fast on the computer anymore because of my eyes.
Mhm.
So to make it, I told an old colleague which I met from 50 years ago when we both entered training, and the other one will be 80 this month, and we are writing a book about that, about 50 years of wisdom and experience. It is what we had in the old days, a secretary who was putting the slides together and the things together, because that is the part which is not that fast anymore as what I was used to. That's accepting the part. Okay, this is not the part anymore. So I've decided I want to be invited as a speaker. I'm writing my books, but not longer making manuals and all that stuff.
Mhm.
That.
Thank you. Thank you, Clementine.
But you have a tree behind you, huh? Yeah, well, that is the tree
Of life.
of wisdom.
Mhm.
I would call it the tree of wisdom.
Okay, the tree of wisdom. Yeah. Well, I used to have an owl there that
Yeah.
was the bird of wisdom, and now it's the tree of life. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Pam, anything you want to add?
Well, a lot has been said that I would concur with. Um, I guess a piece of being an elder is being respected. So it's kind of similar to what Clara said before about it's a badge of honor to be called an elder. For me, I've for many years been fascinated by indigenous cultures. And to me, they revere elders. And when I think elder, it has a very positive connotation to me. And I totally agree with everyone who said that it doesn't really have anything to do with age. But as Donna mentioned, a lot of people, when you speak to them about being an elder, they would say, "Well, you're probably in your 60s or beyond, right?" But I think, if we think of different cultures and particularly the indigenous ones, there's always this respect for older people and the wisdom and also the practices that they hold, right? True, and sharing those with others. And I love that concept that Clara mentioned of community mentorship. Like I believe as elders, it is our role to mentor both individually and in community. So Inga and this group provides us an opportunity for community mentorship, really, because you can have an idea here and then think, oh, well, I could plant that seed somewhere else, right?
Absolutely. We'll get there. We'll get there, Pam. Yes. Mary Jane, welcome. You want to add something?
No, I don't. I don't know all what has been shared prior. I do. Yeah, I guess the question has been, I guess, do we associate, do we resonate with the word elder for
yourself?
that we would use it? Yeah, okay, for ourselves or whatever. I would never have thought so. I would never have described myself as so. Would I? Am I? Yes, I think so. I feel fairly certain that, and especially looking towards younger people, that they would see me as being an elder, someone to be respected. But we've got this strong word association with elderly, and that's I don't know if somebody has mentioned it. I mean, it's there. It's in our vocabulary. It's so and elderly is beyond older.
Older. Yeah.
It's beyond older.
Yeah.
if someone were to describe me as elderly, then I would think I'm in, a wheelchair or, hunched over or so. Yeah. The examples, of course, we've got the elders, the group worldwide of leaders. That makes it also a little bit hard for me to set myself as an example like them, so making that comparison. But yeah,
Okay.
it's a tough one. It really is. It's
Mhm.
like having to reframe that word in my brain.
Well, we're not here to make life easier, Mary Jane. And that is, we had a conversation with Donna before, is there's a lot of younger people, what you have picked up also in the United States, who blame the older generations for the situation that they're in right now. And well, first, I try to find out, I've been talking a lot with my AI friends. Well, for one, I do think that our generation, but then we're talking age again, is to blame for many of the things that are happening right now. But on the other hand, and that is also the questions that I asked, is what have we contributed to the world that we're in right now? That many of the inventions come from the older generation. And so it's not just a blame situation. And I also think being here in this age group, we also know that the situation that we are in right now in the world, it happened before. We've seen it before, maybe with other faces, maybe in other parts of the world, maybe a little bit different, but we have had our challenges. There have been times in our lives that we felt like, oh, wow, where is this going to? When my children were young, I thought, oh gosh, what kind of a world am I leaving to my children? Now my grandchildren are at the same age, and I feel like, oh gosh, what kind of a world am I leaving to my grandchildren? But in the meantime, we also had a lot of things happening that was good. And it's because we have seen it before, we've done it before, we've been there before, we've invented, we've created, there have been solutions. There's also that what we have contributed. I have to watch the time, but Donna, do you want to respond to that? Believe me, I now have enough material to write 5 blogs about it.
No, just having conversations right now in terms of what's going on. I'm an American, and the voting is going on right now, and people are tired of having these old. And I have to say this is like old white men making decisions and being in that same position for years and years. They want young blood in there, and so that was my point. Is there's a lot of criticism about needing some new voices, young. Oops, sorry.
Yeah,
Uh,
doing fine.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I saw the microphone off. Not trusting that wanting a change, not
Mhm.
wanting older people to run the world. So that's kind of what's I'm hearing a lot is I was in an elevator and talking to young people about in New York, and they were saying they were Californians saying we need a governor like Madani right now. There's all these, anyway, we need some young new voices to speak on for us rather than having these guys that have been there for 50 years as senators and congressmen. And so that was kind of the point I was making.
Yeah. I do believe, Donna, that, and we can all reflect to that. When I was their age, wow, did I have something to say about those older people? I wanted the younger people. And we remember well, I was young, the flower power time, during
Yes,
the Vietnam War,
70.
things like that, we've been there, we've seen it, and that is also why we wanted to change the world at that time. We understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, but don't you think that is, oh, sorry. Don't you think that is because an elder is good at navigating uncertainty? That, when you're mature, your thinking allows you to deal with the contradictions, to look at the imperfections and accept the imperfections and the perfections and the ambiguity, and not being non-judgmental, not passing judgment, but actually navigating it.
Yeah. Not jumping on it, but exploring.
Wow.
Yeah, overlooking. And that is what, I wanted to go to the next slide because I know we're all, this is, we feel that we need to jump on, but it's also because I do want to share the next, I am always very aware of time, the paradox. So where are the elders? Because where are the elders so we can rise above the noise and move humanity forward? That is, for me, is something that I feel very connected with. Because we have to rise above that noise. And the thing is, the paradox is that the very generation that the world, I think, needs now, well, whether it's most or but we need the elders now, has been told its time has passed. And not everyone is aware that we can jump into that. So the whole transition of the Wize Move Society is about, well, I shared you on the first slide, we go from the negative and we go from you need this and I need to fix you, is about, okay, so what is going to be our message to the world? And we defined 5 roles. So 5 roles, 1 mission. And the mission is to contribute to global change. And that can be at any level. I mentioned that before. Oh, also, 1 small change can bring bigger change in the end, I say 1 drop in the ocean can create that tsunami in the end. So the 5 roles we have defined: the storyteller, the keeping memory alive and giving the wise lessons, the mentor. Well, we've heard that one before. The bridge builder. The one who doesn't feel like, you think that way, I think this way. No, but who's willing to stand in the middle and say, okay, it's not about you and all these different opinions. It is about how can we bring this together? Refusing the binary. The healer, restoring the health or well-being in others or in something, and especially also the healer of the world is there. The planet, let's say the planet. It's more. And the leader. The elder way of leadership is really different from what we see now a lot in the world. Nothing left to prove. We don't have anything to prove. We don't have to be there leading the troops. But we do have a lot to offer, and that is what we have talked a lot about at the round table, and that we use a lot again. The role of the matriarch. Why is the matriarch the leader in, all these elephants? Is because she has the wisdom. She knows the way. She has seen it before, done it before. She is the teacher, so there's a lot of roles. Does she need a special name for that? No. Does she need a special role? No, but she is what she is. So the 5 roles, if you look at, the future in Wize Move Society, these roles is what we will be focusing on. So if we talk about we're doing programs, then it will be programs about storytelling. It will be programs on mentoring, on bridge building, on being the healer, on being the leader, but then in the way that it should be done now, in the way that we are, in the world that we are. Anyone missing a role?
Yes.
Yes, the inventor.
We are living in a time where everything starts changing, and that is with AI. And what I very much miss are the elderly that are helping to contribute the AI building. So if we close our eyes for AI, then I think we shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And we can make, with the wisdom that we have, we can make an enormous contribution building this new AI.
Um, I hear you, Han. So if you look at these five roles, do you think AI is excluded? Because AI is part of storytelling. That's where we are. It is about being the mentor. But I think, and that is very important, we talked about that before, is we need to bring the human aspect of AI back. So that for us is, I think, the gift that we bring. So I think it's there everywhere because we cannot close our eyes for AI. It's happening. And by the way, Claude helped me a lot with writing the manifesto.
I do a lot with AI, and I hear many elderly.
And the elders.
For me, there is a difference. Mary Jane, what I heard you say, the word elderly to me resonates different than the elders.
Yes. Yeah.
And the elders, I see the tribe, you know? Like I said, Pamela said that, the indigenous, in the old tribes, you had rituals. That you came to the elder to ask for some knowledge or insights, and I think storytelling is one of the most important parts of contributing to the world, and then not in a way of, in the early days when we were young, it was all different, but much more, it's interesting how the change, the transition is going on at the moment, but we have never had a time as it is now, because we are really in the biggest transition ever of the last couple of 100 years. Because now there is an outside, and I love my AI actions. It's very helpful. But I mean, this really moves the world. And a part of the elder people have no idea what's going on. Because we are maybe the 10% or the 20% who is still active. So I talk to a lot of elderly people here in the town, and they always look at me like, "Oh my God, what is she doing?" You
Yeah.
know, it's
And that is okay.
yeah,
But that is okay. And I think that is also what Mary Jane mentioned. Elder and elderly is so close. The words are so close. But when
yeah,
we
but
talk about the
different.
elders, we talk about wisdom, we talk about that part. If we talk about the elderly, it's the older people.
Exactly.
And if they are happy to just be in that group,
Oh, great.
it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want the others that feel like, yes, we want to contribute. Yeah.
And those who want to contribute, they will find each other always.
Yes. Good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Clementine. And again, I'm watching the time. That is why I am moving forward. So, 𝒕𝒉𝒆𝒅𝒔 is the well. And yes, the Wize Move Society is reaching out to those who feel the call, but don't know where to begin. You know, those are the elders that feel like, "Yeah, I really want to contribute, but how? Where? Where is that group? Where is that tribe?" And we also reach out to those who have more or less accepted the world story that their best time is behind them. If they don't want to listen, it is okay. Yeah. It is all about having the time of your life also in later in life. What is very important for us is what you bring is not outdated. It's unique. And that may be a little bit of AI and a lot of wisdom and lived experience, or it may be a lot of AI and combine it with everything that you have seen in the past and bring your values and everything that is also very much needed in this world. What you have lived is not irrelevant, it is irreplaceable. Yeah, all those years of experience. So the Wize Move Society, it is a movement, an online community for elders. And yes, we're still discussing that word. It is about that vision arc. It is a bit about being that individual elder, the one with the wisdom, the lived experience. It is about moving into that collective wisdom, because what you see already in this pretty small group, what you bring on your wisdom, you already leave with more. You know, it is about bringing that wisdom together. And that is now in this time and age, it is about leaving here that you feel like, yes. And then actually also coming back because there is more to gain, there's more to learn, there's more to share the wisdom that you bring. And in the end, it is about that global change. And where we do that and where we get that experience, the wisdom well, of course, the connections, the conversations, the roles that we will be working on. So what you need, and we started in that beginning, is what, you know, on the left part of the screen, what you see that I thought that I was in the old version of Wize Move Society, that I needed to fix people. You know, I needed to, and actually, Clementine, you've done the entrepreneurship program, you know, and there's other programs that, you know, were great, but it's not my role to fix them. Only the willingness, you need the willingness to show up. Oh, that's my daughter, the willingness to show up at our watering hole as who you are and offer what you bring. I need to change that word carry as well, I learned last week. So this is the watering hole, and we use that a lot now in our conversations. It is the place where learning, sharing, wisdom, you know, all that, and all the generations, the younger generations, it all comes together. So that's what you need. And what we need is, and I really, really believe that, we need a sense of urgency, because I really think that we have that wisdom, we have that experience to do something with it and to bring it out into the world. So we need that sense of urgency to rise above the noise and together move humanity forward. And that is something that I mentioned before. So this is a little bit about what the new Wize Move Society will be all about. And I'm going to stop share. Someone mentioned something in the chat box. Take a call from Canada. Okay. Anything you want to add now? Just short. It is 5 o'clock. So what do you want to share at the end of this session? Yes, Pam.
Well, thanks, Ingrid, for sharing what you've thought about and obviously shared with others to bring you to this point. I really particularly like the 5 roles, 1 mission piece. And I think at different points in our lives, we're at different places, because I could see myself in about 3 of those roles right now. However, before I was a bridge builder, because I did a lot of multi-stakeholder work and co-creation of things, you know, as a facilitator and project manager and such like. So I think the roles are very all-encompassing and we can move through them at various points in our lives, I think, or feel part of them, or feel that they're part of us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Pam. Anyone?
I have to leave, but what I like, and Inga, we didn't really touch upon that, is to help others figure out what is the best way in terms of ways that we can storytell, ways that we can bridge build, give us some aids, guidance, workshop, whatever, so that we can do that in the communities that we're currently in,
Yes.
so that
Yes.
we can bring from here, the Wize Move Society, those skills to all the different things that we're doing in our world outside.
Absolutely.
So,
And that is the next step. Yeah. Thank you, Donna.
okay.
Yeah.
I have to run. Sorry. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll send everyone a link or on LinkedIn to connect.
Okay. Yes. Anything you want to share, Clementine?
Well, I'm very grateful that you do the work in, I mean, for me, it works very good if I'm with someone. That's my projector identity. I need others, then my library goes up, So I'm very grateful that you put it all in writing. I like that. Whatever, if I can contribute, call me, let me know. To
Wonderful.
whatever things. I'm open for everything, but I will be gone the 22nd.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Around that date. And I will do a lot of interviews on the Camino. That's what I schedule. To stories of the elderly who are walking.
No, not the elderly, the elders.
The elders, yes. You see?
Otherwise, you have to ask them before, what age are you? No, you're not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will talk to people on the way about their inner calling, why they're there.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Han, anything?
Yeah, I think we should not think that these days that we live in are special and that you have to worry about it. But if you look at the golden ages in the Netherlands, where the Netherlands rules the waves and where we earns a lot of money, we have 2 million slaves. The Netherlands had 2 million slaves. That is something.
At the moment.
In the golden age,
That
yes.
is the golden age. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's the way we get there, absolutely. And I hear you. Yeah. Clara.
Hello.
Yeah.
I just feel that it is a very exciting future.
Thank you. Betsy, you're the last. You're muted.
There we go. I just feel grateful for this wonderful group because this is really helping me become the elder. That this is such a this is just where I need to be right now. So grateful and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Patty, it's also where I need to be. So thank you all for being here and for joining in this conversation. There will be some bits and pieces that are immediately moving into the this presentation and also in the material that we will be bringing, and that is next steps. So really grateful for what happened today and for you all being here, taking the time to join us. Thank you all.
You.
Grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Inga.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.